day. Here is the midday news on OGBC. I am Emmanuel Adebanjo. First, the major items. The federal government has taken a major step to boost liquidity in the power sector. Ogun State Governor approves the reconstruction of Magboro Makogi Road. The United States is accusing Iran of launching cyber attacks on the campaign on its presidential candidates. The federal government announced that it has paid off 205 billion naira of the 1.5 trillion naira debt owed to power generation companies in a move aimed at boosting liquidity in the power sector. The Minister of Power, Mr. Adebanjo, made this known in Abuja on Monday during an oversight visit at the House of Representatives Committee on Power. Mr. Adebanjo emphasized the need for lawmakers to hold the executive accountable for settling outstanding debt to players in the sector and must therefore sustain their pressure to achieve this goal. Mr. Adelabu also announced plans by the federal government to introduce a franchising system for power distribution. He explained that the franchising system will allow trusted investors to take over existing power distribution infrastructure, bring in new transformers, reconstruct cables, and supply power to consumers. In a massive boost to reflate the economy, the federal government has concluded arrangements to disburse 1 billion naira single-digit loan to 75 major companies. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, made this known in a statement. She said the financial support follows the verification of over 700,000 applications. According to her, it is not just about providing financial support, but restoring hope, rebuilding lives, and reaffirming commitment to the social contract with the people. A former Chief Judge of Nigeria, Mr. Walter Mohen, on Tuesday was present at the Court of Appeal in Abuja where he is challenging his suspension as Chief Justice by the Code of Conduct Tribunal in 2019. The former CJN argued that all the allegations brought against him constituted no offense and should not have formed a basis for his conviction and removal from office. He is also reported to be challenging the jurisdiction of the CCT and its refusal to be bound by the orders made by the Federal High Court and the National Industrial Court directing the tribunal to halt the trial. The National Assembly has challenged its staff to embrace technology for increased productivity and modernization. The clerk of the National Assembly, Mr. Magaji Tambuwal, gave charge in Abuja, delivering a keynote address at the formal opening of a 4-day capacity building program for staff of the National Assembly in Abuja. Honorable Tambuwal said training and retraining are essential components of professional growth and development, particularly in today's fast-paced and ever-evolving environment. He noted Assembly must be at the forefront of modernization, transparency, and accountability, and to achieve that staff responsibilities with increased efficiency and commitment. The Ogun State Governor, Prince Tapo Abiodun, has approved the reconstruction of the 8.17 kilometers Magboro Makogi Road in Abafemi Owode local government area. Governor Abiodun also made this known on Monday at the flag off of the 2024 harvesting season, which took place in Igboko village, said the reconstruction will be extended to Magboro under bridge. The governor noted that reconstructing the road would open up the area to more development, even as he said that the state government intends to encourage rice cultivation in the region by resolving some of the challenges facing the farmers. The governor commended the traditional rulers in the area for maintaining peace in their domain, stressing that the success recorded in rice plantation in the area is as a result of the collaboration of the monarch. The first citizen of the Gateway State assured that his administration will continue to partner with the traditional institution in promoting peaceful coexistence. You are listening to the midday news on OGBC 90.5 FM. The United States has accused Iran of launching cyber attacks on the presidential campaigns of Ms. Kamala Harris and Mr. Donald Trump and targeting US voters with operations designed to exacerbate political division. The assessment from FBI and other federal agencies marks the first time the US government has assigned blame and renewed fears of the threat of foreign election interference in the country's election. The Trump campaign accused Iran of hacking one of its websites earlier this month. At the time, Trump said Iran was only able to get publicly available information. The US statement said Iran had also targeted the campaign of Harris, who will formally accept the Democratic Party's presidential nomination at this week's convention. Top US diplomats Mr. Anthony Blinken was in Egypt this Tuesday for talks on a Gaza ceasefire after saying Israel had accepted a US bridging proposal for a deal and urging Hamas to do the same. Mr. Blinken, on his night visit to the Middle East since the Palestinian militant group's October 7 attack triggered the war with Israel, flew to El Alamein, the Mediterranean city famous for a World War II battle, and began talks with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi at his summer place. Afterwards, he will head to a meeting after Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamina bin Ahmad Al Thani in Doha, the scene of ceasefire talks last week. Both Egypt and Qatar are working alongside the United States to broker a truce in the 10th month Gaza conflict. India's Supreme Court has set up a national task force of doctors to make recommendations on workplace safety to nationwide protests. The court said this Tuesday that the doctors' panel was being established to frame guidelines for the safety and protection of medical workers across the country. India has been outraged by the 31-year-old trainee's assault and killed inside a staff-run hospital in the eastern city of Kolkata. The crime came highlights sexual violence against women in the country. Chief Justice Dhananjaya Chadrachud said protesting safety of doctors and women doctors is a matter of national interest and principle of equality. Ukrainian authorities have issued an urgent order to families with children to evacuate the eastern city of Pokrovsk, where the Russian army is bearing down fast, despite a lightning Ukrainian incursion in Russia's Kursk region. Local authorities said Russian forces are advancing so quickly that families must leave the city and other nearby towns and villages starting this Tuesday. Around 53,000 people still live in Popox, while some have already fled their homes as Russia's army advances. Porovsk is one of Ukraine's main defensive strongholds and a key logistics hub in the Donetsk region. Russia wants control of all parts of Donetsk and neighboring Luhansk, which together make up the Donbas region. On sports, Juventus crushed to a 3-0 Serie A victory against newly promoted Como in what was Thiago Motta's first competitive game in charge. Simon Bagula, USA winger Timothy Weah, and Andre Cambiaso scored the goals as Juventus Allianz Stadium in turn. Elsewhere, Marco Bresciani and Matteo Etigui both scored doubles as Atalanta trumped Leeds 4-0 in their opening game. In England, Leicester City and Nottingham battled to a 1-1 draw at the Kent Power Stadium. Good governance is a reflection of good citizenry. Renew your commitment to being a patriotic citizen. To end the midday news, another look at major items. In a move aimed at boosting liquidity in the power sector, the federal government has announced a payment of over 205 million naira as part of the debt owed to power generating companies. The Ogun State Governor President Wadreg on Monday approved the reconstruction 8.17 kilometers Magbulu Makogi Road. You also heard that the United States of America has accused Iran of launching cyber attacks on the presidential campaigns of Ms. Kamala Harris and Mr. Donald Trump to raise political tensions. The midday news was edited by Wahid Ogunjobi and broadcast from OGBC Abeokuta. For exclusive programs and latest news updates, visit our website at www.ogunradio.ng. Follow us on Facebook at Ogun Radio Abeokuta and on X at OGC 90.